So I wrote this whole thing on my big computer over here um, before realizing it was a video assignment, so that was cool. I'm just going to read from here a little and then talk to y'all a little. I would use planning and coordinating skills to secure resources and staff. By planning our actions, we would have a solid plan for the company's future. It would be useful in managing the floor and for the organization as a whole. Coordinating would lead to everyone's collaboration and cooperation. Company values would need to be taught and a part of the group's intentions. This can be a strong force in making a company. My leadership questionnaire was a little unclear. I was not surprised but a little discouraged to see that I was evenly split amongst 3 skills. My scores were 22 for administrative, 23 for interpersonal, and 23 for conceptual. While this is useful to be well versed in all things, I do think that particular skills need to be honed and come to light in order to make a decisive manager. The published article that I chose was very enlightening in regards to interdisciplinary team, trusting and communicating with one another. My article was from Anderson, Hughes, Patterson, and Costa. They described from the start of the article that there existed a rift between midwives and doctors, which led to ineffective communication in maternity settings. While this breakdown and the them versus us type of thinking is dangerous in any setting, maternal settings could have tragic results if this type of relationship continued to exist. So in this article, they describe how an interactive simulation provided a workshop type of atmosphere and allowed for both the medical students and then the senior class midwives to interact before they went to their rotations. I think this type of thinking should be encouraged and continued. Nurses and physicians need to have that interaction and working basis before hitting the floors and engaging in emergency situations. Building that trust in your colleagues early on would be extremely beneficial for the team, and I think more workshops, such as the one described by Anderson, Hughes, Patterson, and Costa, should exist. Regarding communication, I feel that to effectively fill my role as a nurse manager, I would have to have communication with both upper management and my staff. Communication would have to be interdepartmental as well, because nursing departments frequently work with and for one another. I think that interdepartmental communication would be the most pertinent because these are the situations where the most communication would occur, and what is working for one department, if shared, could aid the other department in working as well. Lastly, my preference as to vertical or horizontal structure. My choice would have to be vertical. I understand a levels of management scheme, and the description of the horizontal structure made me feel very isolated. I understand the need for splitting up the departments, but as previously mentioned, communication within those departments is absolutely needed. As far as a model practice, I believe I'm somewhere between case management and partners in practice. The reason for that being, I like the case management aspect, but I think it needs to be a separate department because in my case, a nurse with a 5-patient load, you just can't possibly do it all. So case management is separate from the floor staff. And then, so that being said, I work in the partners in practice is my current type of environment, and I think it works really well. I think that as a manager, I would facilitate rounding with case management groups to best care for the patient's needs. So those are my ideas, and in reference to being a nurse manager and where I fall in those ranges. And thanks for listening.